Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel and blog. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for a special video presentation for the Creating Kindness Design Team's Video Hop and Blog Hop. Today I would like to share 2 card projects that include using texture in card making. One card project will include some hand-sewn ribbon, and another is a bit more simplified by using embellishments from the Stampin' Up! Catalog. To add a hand-sewn ribbon element, I start off by stamping an image in a light color onto cardstock. Then using the paper piercing tool and a paper piercing mat, I punch holes that are at each end of the image that I would like to have, like maybe form a petal. From that point, we are going to come up from the back with a hand knot on the end of the ribbon and then go down into the opposite hole on the petal. Be sure to pull the ribbon snug, but don't pull it too tight because you're not working on fabric. This is working on paper, and paper can tend to rip. This is a really nice way that you can add a little bit more of your personal touch to a card making project. In the annual Stampin' Up! Catalog, there is a nice 2-page spread that's filled just with ribbon and nice types of embellishments. There are many different ways to go about adding hand-sewn elements to a project. You're going to need a paper piercer, an embroidery needle with a long eye, and a paper piercing mat. We're going to stamp an image in a light ink on cardstock. To punch a hole and pierce the paper, make sure that you push the paper piercer all the way down so that you get the nice generous hole. If you need to, you can rock that paper piercer back and forth a little bit, and that will allow you to create a larger hole. The ribbon can be secured after it's hand sewn to the back of the paper project. As you can see, I did not put everything down really tightly because paper has a tendency to tear. Fast fuse will hold that ribbon nicely in place. You want the ribbon to float over the paper, but be tight enough to hold it in place and not run away from the stamped image. This is something that I recommend you try out a few times to see if you like it and to see how your hand does at a little bit of a hand-sewn element. It is very easy to add this. It's one of the most simple ways that I can think of to add any kind of a special effect ribbon to a card project. And it's a lot of fun, and it puts some of yourself into this nice gift that you're giving someone else. Because there is ribbon and knots on the back of this paper, I have layered 2 layers of Stampin' Dimensionals on the back to raise it up. Because this is a flower, I'm using one of the clear faceted gems just to add a little touch of sparkle to the middle. This is a very simple and elegant card, and you could choose any kind of sentiment to add to it, as in this design there's plenty of room for adding anything you need. For the second card, we're going to keep things a little bit more simple and go with a totally different color scheme. I'm using Lovely Friends stamp set, and I'm going to create a small sentiment icon, and I will fussy cut it out and poke holes with a hole punch. I want my holes to be generous enough to allow the Boxwood wreath to pass through, and so I want to stay away from the edge of the paper whenever punching because it will tear. I found this out the hard way, so I want to share that little bit of advice. Make sure that you push the wreath up from the back of the paper, as it will appear to hold the sentiment like a plaque. This reminds me of a garden wall and the nice bits of boxwood that will grow over and around the garden walls. Here is this beautiful ribbon that I have secured to the back of the card, and I'm going to use some dimensionals on the back of this sentiment to stack it up to where it's not going to bow down around that boxwood wreath. Many people are really excited to see the boxwood wreaths in the annual catalog. It's a new thing for us to use, but many people have come to me saying they do not know how to use this product. So here is one way that you can add special texture, and believe me, this little plastic wreath is textured on every leaf, and it really looks nice on the front of a card. There's many different ways you could choose to feature it, and this is just simply one idea. In contrast to the hand-sewn ribbon, this is going to not give you a nice silky feel. This is going to be loaded with texture. So here's a closer look at those boxwood wreaths, and there's lots of them in the package. Here are two examples that you can add a touch of yourself with texture to your next card making project. All of the supplies are listed in the video description, as well as a list of the other people that are on the video hop. So click the Show More video description, and you can go and choose the next video to watch and be getting lots of new ideas for using texture in your card making projects. Thank you all for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.